Hello, welcome to Immigration Vibes. Today we are going to talk about the importance of being a U.S. citizen. So I am going to discuss some benefits that a lot of people don't even know that they have. For example, as a U.S. citizen, if you are working in the United States and paying your taxes and you have a place to live, you can be privileged to bring certain family members to the United States under the petition called an I-130. So it's going to be an immigrant visa. So you will have to show that you have the money to take care of the person, and you also have to show that you have a place that the person will stay, and you have to show that you have the money to feed the person, because when they come under your name, you are the surety of the person no matter what happens to the person, like healthcare and stuff like that. So unfortunately, a lot of people don't know all this. They just believe that if you are a U.S. citizen, you can wake up in the morning and just file a petition for a loved one without a job, without having a house to stay, or an apartment to stay, or without even having health care, or probably you must not have been paying your taxes. So it doesn't work like that, because when you want to file this petition, all of these documents are going to be required in the process. So let's talk about some of the people that can benefit a petition under a U.S. citizen. So number one, as a U.S. citizen, you can actually file for all your children, no matter whether they are married or single. So I know that a lot of people just know they can file for children under 18 years, but they don't know that they can equally file for children that are above 18 years, whether they are married or not. The difference is that above 18 years, it takes just a little more time for them to travel to the United States. So if you have children that are above 18 years or they are married, then consider to file a green card application for them to travel to the United States. Number two, as a as a U.S. citizen, you can also file for your parents. Both of your parents, your mother and your father, will have the privilege to travel to the United States with a green card. So again, all the requirements have to be completed. You have to make sure that you have the money to take care of them. You shouldn't bring them here and they start requesting for food stamp or government benefit. So that is why the law requires you to show your bank statement. The law requires you to show that you have a job. The law requires you to show that you have a place for them to stay. Number three, as a U.S. citizen, you can bring your spouse, which means if you are a woman, you can bring your husband. If you are a man, you can bring your wife. So again, all requirements have to be followed. You must have the money to show that you will be capable of taking care of your spouse. You also need a job to show that you are working. You also must have been working and paying your taxes. So you must be in good standing, no criminal record. Then you can file an immigrant visa for your loved one, or your spouse, or your husband and wife, or your husband or wife. Number four, if you are a U.S. citizen, you also have the privilege to file for a green card for your siblings. It just takes a little more time. In most countries, it takes over 10 years. I understand that some people lack the patience to wait, but you never know. If you are a U.S. citizen and you put this petition in, immediately you become a U.S. citizen and start counting the years. Before you know, 10 years is here. For some countries like Philippines or China or India, it takes a little more than that because of the population. So it also depends the line that you are standing on in your country. But generally, filing for a sibling as a U.S. citizen, it takes a very long time. Sometimes some siblings are lucky to make it here, sometimes they are not lucky. So, but at least you have the privilege to file for them. Number 5, as a U.S. citizen, say you have a boy or a girl. If you are a man, you have a fiance in your country, or if you are a woman, you have a fiance in your country. As a U.S. citizen, you have the privilege to file for a petition called a fiancé visa, which is the K1 visa. So we are going to elaborate on this one a little bit because it has some tricks attached to it. So as a fiancé, remember you are not yet married. So as a U.S. citizen, you can file for a fiancé visa so that your fiancé can travel to the United States and you guys can get married. And you must get married within 90 days that the fiancé arrives the United States. So after the 90 days, then you can go ahead to file for the adjustment of status of this fiancé. Remember that you have to be in good standing. Failure to get married before 90 days of the arrival of the fiancé will put the whole process in jeopardy. So be careful when you are filing for somebody that you call the fiancé. Make sure you are in good terms with the person. Let the person not come here and say, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm no more interested. Then you will get in trouble. So be careful when you are making this choice of bringing somebody to the United States as a fiancé to get married in order to give the person a green card. I hope that this information is very helpful for those who probably must have been looking for it, and please help me to share the video to your loved ones, and I will see you again in my next one. Bye bye.